AITA for using evidence in court that could emotionally harm my mother? I, 34F, am involved in a highly emotional court case with my narcissistic mother and stepfather. First, some backstory. When my sister was 1 and I was 3, our mother initially had custody. However, she disappeared for 4 days, leaving us alone at home. After an investigation, we were raised by our father. There was a reunification plan, but my mother didn't follow it, and her parental rights were terminated. No one ever spoke negatively about her while we were growing up, so when I was 20, I decided to reconnect with her and build a relationship. Big mistake. After reuniting with her, I learned a lot that I hadn't known before. She was diagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder, specifically as a vulnerable narcissist. My stepfather has also been diagnosed with BPD. The past decade with them has been overwhelming. My mother faked cancer, even having me shave her head. I had to pay them to babysit my children, and we constantly argued. There's too much to list. In 2022, my parents decided to move 15 hours away for a get-rich-quick scheme involving flipping houses. I stayed behind in our hometown because my youngest child's father had passed away, and I wanted to stay close to his family. Plus, I was in a committed relationship. My mother was furious. Even after moving, she tried everything to get me to join them. She offered me money to break up with my boyfriend, got me fired from my job, posted negative things about me online, sent hundreds of texts, and even contacted my oldest child about me. This has been going on for nearly a year. Earlier this year, I was served paperwork. My mother and stepfather are suing me for grandparents' rights. However, no court date was set at first. My oldest child spends breaks with her father, and when she returned from summer break, she was acting very differently. I found out that my mother and my child's father had been secretly in contact for a year and a half, allowing my daughter to see and speak with my mother without my knowledge. They even recorded videos of her without her knowing. I have sole custody, so needless to say, a major argument followed, and I've since restricted any further contact. After this incident, my mother and stepfather finally set a court date for next month. Here's why I'm wondering if AITA. For the upcoming court case, I plan to use text messages where my mother admitted that my stepfather is a danger to children, as well as messages from my daughter's father, where he calls my mother unstable and says he would never let her near our child. I'm also using her extensive criminal record, over 140 charges in 5 different states, and the fact that her parental rights to me were terminated. My stepfather has no idea about her record. I know that revealing all of this will likely humiliate my mother in court, especially since she's a narcissist. I also worry it will cause major tension with my stepfather and could trigger a severe reaction from her. I don't want to cause her harm, but I do want to protect my children and be left in peace. I've cut contact entirely, but nothing has stopped her behavior. Now, I'm feeling conflicted. AITA for using this information, knowing it could emotionally devastate her?